Hi guys, I am doing a lower body workout here. So I want to give you guys a clue on what I'm working in these exercises. Here I am doing a dumbbell deadlift. I'm using a lighter dumbbell because I'm starting with this exercise, but here I'm wanting to warm up my low back but upper butt glute. So when you're going down, you're squeezing at the top and getting the glute activated. Then from there, when you build your rounds, you're going to want to make the weight heavier. So this is the second exercise I did, a lying glute bridge thigh squeeze. A lying glute bridge thigh squeeze is going to work a lot of the areas of your glute. And then you're going to be focusing on somewhat of the inner thigh. So here you're pushing out as those abductors would roll with the outer thigh, and then you're squeezing in the inner, but you're also working other parts of your gluteus maximus, and you're going to give yourself a nice little huggy love. These are all your warmies into this glute exercise that I obviously didn't want to do and had a bad attitude, but thought, you know what, do you want a big fat ass? Yes. Yes, I do. So you're going to lay down and do it, or you're going to suffer. So you're going to go through each of these exercises. Here you want to give about 3 to 4 full reps of each of them and then move on to the next. And I'm warmed up at this point, so I'm going to go into a light squat. Okay, so after this glute bridge, I'm going to go into a little bit more of the low back area to get it nice and warm because I've had 2 kids, and that's a spot for me that I'm constantly always keeping intact because after you pop 2 children out your belly, your back is whack. These are light good mornings. You're really pushing your hips back in these and then making sure that you keep a flat back in this motion. Also warming up your hamstrings in this area as well because we're going to go into a squat exercise is this. I think it's essential that when you are doing any type of exercises, you are using exercises to warm up as well before you go into your heavy lifts. Now we're going to go into a stability ball roll in, which is going to work your underbutt, give you that nice little underbutt thing, but also start to shred out your hamstrings here. You're really engaging them. You should feel this through your calves as well. Your goal here is to leave your hips as high as possible. Get that tight ass so you can get that tight butt. You really want to lift and then roll out as far as your body will let you without lowering or compromising your body from the height and distance because you're going to get a really good hamstring pull in there. And then work on that lower glute exercise. Give yourself a high rep when you're not using weights because you want to push your body to a point of failure. And failure is as if you cannot do another exercise. Then we're going to move ourselves into a lovely single leg deadlift. There's a lot of ways you can do this. I'm looking at myself and then I reflected and I was like, hell no, you don't want to be here, but you can do this. Your main goal when you're going into this single leg deadlift is your foot that you're focused on and bringing it up through the heel to get that squeeze through the glute muscle. When you're doing dumbbells, it is harder if you don't have proper grip strength. So when you're lifting, you can move at a slower pace, start heavy, and dumb down the weights if needed with grip. Give yourself a nice bend forward, flat back, and then squeeze, coming as far as your hamstring flexibility will let you. Some people will let their back drop, and you lose control over your hamstring glute when you are falling too far forward. This is a really exciting exercise and workout. But when you single out those glutes, you really get more control over them. Here I am doing it some more. What am I even racking? What am I getting ready to do? I don't know, guys. What exercise? I believe I'm doing a box squat here, which I'm doing a straddle box squat because I'm going to use my bench as the leverage, or not leverage, because you're not going to want to push off the bench, but the place where your hips can fall to. And then I'm going to come up from a seated position. When you're doing these, I feel like the most important thing people forget is foot placement. You don't want your feet tucked too far back. You want them forward, and you want to push straight up, especially if you're working on your glute from your heel here. So a lot of times in anything where you're working a total leg, you're going to push through that entire foot. When you're focusing on your butt, you want heel. I feel like I could have taken this heavier, but again, I was wrestling my inner demons this day. I think I was getting ready to start the red devil in my belly. And you're going to go into about 4 rounds of this exercise. That would be ideal when doing those types of workouts, is low rep heavy weights. Here, oh, this was fun. I saw people using dumbbells to do their donkey kicks, which I've done before, but it always irritates. And then I was like, oh, I could stick a towel in here and it'll be even better. Guess what? It was better. It cushioned the part where I was, and I got a heavier lift through the back of that glute. So you're just really focusing on keeping your hips planted and lifting that glute really high and squeezing it individually at the top. When you're using those weights, you're going based off of a failure method, which it's hard to fail on a donkey kick. So when you have the heavier weight in there, you can feel your glute more into your lower back. Just really make sure you're squeezing and not using your body for momentum to push the donkey kick up. What's going to be next? I don't even know. Keep those abs tight. Oh, yes. This is such a good voiceover. Now we're going into a hip band glute bridge, or you could call the thruster as well. So you want thrusters are a fun game. They're so awkward to get into, but they really help with the overall shape of your glute. So I'm using a weighted ball, the hip thruster, which I'm making sure my hips are open, so you have that resistance with the band, and then I'm pushing through that glute heel for the thrust. Then you're going to get a nice burn. The biggest thing with those hip bands is to make sure that your knees aren't falling in and that you're in a proper position with your knee to ankle, heel alignment, and then pushing up through there. Because this is a lighter hip thruster, you aren't going to want to go 15 to 20 reps. Everything that's heavier that you do, dumb down to about 5 to 8 reps. Anything that's going to be lighter, kill it around 15 to 20, or try to fail out. Try to go to where your body doesn't want to do it anymore, not your mind. Don't let your mind overtake this exercise. All of these exercises go really great in combination, so I'd follow along in the direction. I would do 3 to 4 rounds of each exercise, and I would try my best to fail out at all of them. Remember, add heavier weight, and you can always take the weight off if needed. Try this lower body exercise out. Let me know if you like it, and if there is another workout you'd like us to do. Thank you. Have the best day of your life. Share, subscribe, follow. What a great workout.